Hi, welcome to my guitar tutorial, key of G, 7th chord arpeggios, 2 octaves. So look in the description below the video. I'll have a PDF of all these different patterns that I'm using. So I just started off just playing through all the sheets as written, not too much with embellishments. So I think for the tutorial, I'll just maybe talk briefly about my strategy here. So if you look at the first page, what I'm doing for the number one, for the exercise number 1, I'm just doing three in a row: G, B, D, F sharp, A, C, E, G, B, D, F sharp, and so on. And then for number 2, I'm doing 1 note and then 2 notes, and then another note. So A, C, D. So this is going to put your hand in a different position for different kind of phrasings. Okay, so now for number 3, I'm doing 1 note, and then I'm doing B, D, F sharp, 3 in a row. C, A, C, E. So what this kind of points to is you can kind of see how, like for a G major 7th arpeggio, you have a G note, but then you also have a B minor arpeggio on top, and then for A minor 7th, you have an A, and then you have a C major arpeggio on top. So that be when you're improvising, you can kind of think about using different pieces of those other triads to play over the chords. And then number 4, I do 4 notes in a row. Now for this one, G, B, D, F sharp, there's no F sharp because the G is the lowest note. But here you have A, C, E, G, and that's pretty interesting. These are the way I'm playing them here. I'm just doing more of a shift, but once you get your hand warmed up or whatever, you can do these as chord voicings. A, C, E, G. You can add the open B. That nice A minor 9 chord. This one's a little bit hard to stretch. B, D, F sharp, A. I won't say that too long. That's a little bit hard. C, E, G, B is a kind of a nice one. The D, D, F sharp, A, C is a little bit of a stretch. That one's a little bit harder, but that's kind of an interesting 9-13 chord. The E minor 7, maybe a little bit easier, E, G, B, D. Kind of nice one. This one's a little hard to play. Kind of a sus, minor 7, and then G, B, D, F sharp. Kind of a nice chord, kind of Johnny Smith kind of chords. Okay, then for the second page, same idea. Right, so then for number 5, you can do kind of maybe slides into that. So you have 3 in a row, B minor 7, right, and so on. Right, so that's kind of what I'm hinting at here, is that you can take these There's G major 7, A minor. How about maybe a hammer on? Okay, then for number 3, number 7 on that page, you have these 3 in a row, so G, B, D, D. Then for the A minors, 3 in a row, B minor 7, and so on, C. All right, so once again, you have this idea of, so I say C major 7th chord, you have a C chord, and then you have an E minor on top. So you can do like C and then E minor, C major 7, E minor pentatonic on top of that. Okay, and then the last one, number 8, I'm going to do chord voicing. So I'll go ahead and do what I did on the first page. So these are a little bit easier to play. G, B, D, F sharp. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky fingering. A, C, E, G. All right, so if you kind of hinge your second finger up, add the A. So B, D, F sharp, A, same idea. The C, E, G, and if you add the A, gives you an A minor 9 chord, D, F sharp, A, C. Okay, and then here's that E minor again. So you can add the E on the bottom, then F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then back to here. All right, so some of them are very, very useful chord voicings. Okay, so I think what I'll do on this third page here, where I'm just kind of going up the arpeggio, I'm going to put on a different track. Okay, so this is just a jam track that I created. It's like 4 bars of each chord. So G major 7th, A minor 7th, B minor 7th, C major 7th, and so on. So what I'm going to do with that first example, going up, right, and so on. So I'm going to play that. I'll play a measure, then I'll improvise, play the measure, improvise, and I'll go through that whole thing. So I'll go to the first 2 lines, and then on the track, it's going to go ascending, G, A, B, C, and then it's going to come back down. And then I'll do the 3rd and 4th lines there. So I'll play a measure, improvise around, play the measure, improvise around. Okay, so let's just kind of see what happens here. Descending, 3rd line. Okay, so as you can see, I was just taking those basic ideas and then just embellishing around them, playing some scale ideas. And then I'll just talk briefly about this kind of fourth idea I was doing. I was watching a video, and thanks, I can't think of his name, but he was using one of these Oasis guitar stands or guitar holders, and I find it very, very useful, and I would recommend it to anybody who wanted to sit like this. I can have both of my feet on the floor, pretty squarely. I have a classical foot stand under this foot on the first rung, so I find it is very, very useful. It kind of centers the guitar, and I think it's worth looking into. They're not really that expensive. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about this, about these fourth intervals. So for the A minor 7th and B minor 7th, I was just playing these fourths. So I don't have those tabbed out, but that's something I used to practice that a fair amount. I guess the guy in the video was saying that he doesn't hear very many people play it. So I just thought, well, I'll just incorporate that into this video. So then for the B minor 7th chord, fourth intervals. Now this is a major third, F sharp to D. Then I'll go up the scale from the B minor. Right, and that also works really well. Like, let's say I'm on like a G major 7th chord, I can use B minor pentatonic there. So I can also use this pattern. And then up the scale. So those are mostly fourth intervals. All right, so you can go down, and kind of play with those a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do one more example. This would be the fourth page there. So I think I'll just do the same thing I just did with this, with the last one. I'll play the example, and then I'm going to have a couple measures that I can just maybe do some improvising, and then I'll also maybe play a little bit with those fourth intervals. G major 7. A minor. C major 7. D. E minor. G. Come down the scale. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. So you have some basic arpeggios, with different fingering strategies, and then I put together, some different versions in pages 3 and 4. So what I might encourage you to do here is maybe try, combining them in different ways. So, for example, like let's say the G major 7th, the third example, and try maybe combining that with maybe number 7. Right, so that would be one example. Or how about number 2 with number 6. Right, so you can just take each of these and just combine them in different ways and just kind of see what makes the most sense. Like, for example, this A minor like this, where you're doing 2 in a row, would work really well with number 5. I think what I did, I went and I just did like 4 in a row. Okay. So there's a lot you can do with this. So these are just raw materials that I give you, and then you can just do whatever you want with them and add them to your playing. Okay, thanks for listening and watching.